Welcome back to the Doug and Commish Show. It is the Week 4 previews, and we're going to get right to it as quick as possible with our first game. And our first game that we're going to be talking about is New Guy versus Sass. We've already answered some questions from New Guy's fans. And let's look at some of these matchups. Michael Vick going against San Francisco. Again, it looks like he's going to play, but will he play the whole game?
Yeah, I mean, that's the chance that you have to take with a player like Vic.
Mm-hmm.
He can get you 30, but he can get you 10 and play one half.
Yeah.
You drafted him. You got to deal with it.
Yep. What about starting Dexter McCluster as the wide receiver running back position, but he's got him in the wide receiver tight end slot? What do you think about that? I mean, it's obviously a nice tool and an asset to have. But
Who was it last year? Woodhead was that guy last year? It could pay off. And again, it's one of those things. He's a big play guy. He can take that reverse run game that they do, the misdirection stuff they do. He's in the screen game, and he's actually a receiver. So I don't mind the play. I think it could be a nice little spark.
On the other side of things, Giant Sass has Matt Schaub against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh hasn't looked as intimidating as they have in years past.
No, and what is it? Warren Sapp said that they're old, and they're not the same old Steelers. I don't necessarily buy into that yet. Again, it's only week 3, through week 3. So I don't buy into that quite yet.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of the Steelers linebackers and obviously Troy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying into that. I think that they'll come around.
All right. So in this matchup, we've got Sass, New Guy. Are you going to stick with your prediction and say 0-13 for New Guy?
I am. I'm rooting for New Guy because of my disdain for the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see the New Guy being able to win here.
All right. Next game, White Trash versus Toilet Town. The Battle of the Boykies.
Yep.
See which one the parents like this year the most.
Yep. It's been, 4 years in a row the parents have wore White Trash uniforms?
I believe so. So we're wondering what's going to happen. To the best of our knowledge, we hear that DJ's out of town. There's a very good chance this lineup doesn't get filled out by the time the game starts. Am I correct in this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Well, either way, it looks like White Trash is going to start Cam Newton against Chicago. Your feelings on that?
We've talked to the White Trash. Him and I aren't on talking terms, but my office has sent out some people that have talked to him, and I don't know if that's a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears' defense is a little freaky, but, again, Cobb's not playing good.
Yeah.
So it's a risk. It's something that...
would you play Cobb or would you play Cam Newton? If it was you.
I would play Cobb, but I'm a fan of the quarterback-wide receiver combo, so it wouldn't take a lot for that to play well. I don't know if Newton has played against the no cover 2 yet, and the Bears play it better than anybody, and it's more of a timing defense, and I think that might mess with Newton. But then again, he can score with his legs, and it could be a good play. Could be.
DJ's going to be playing Stafford, obviously, against Dallas. Should be a pretty good game there.
Shootout.
Probably a shootout, more than likely. But if I was to tell you at the beginning of the year that in this game the starting tight ends would be Fred Davis and Greg Olsen, what would you have said?
Those are two really bad teams.
Well, we'll see what happens. Your prediction here.
Oh, is that true?
That is factually correct. Both of them are starting it. No.
No offense to the Boykies then. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know you'd be doing that.
Your prediction.
I'm going to take White Trash.
White Trash. And that will move White Trash to 3-1 and taking DJ to 1-3.
Correct. But part of that reason is every time I pick White Trash to win, he loses, and I would really appreciate it if he would lose.
All right. Next game, we have Beans versus Desk Jockey. ESPN has Desk Jockey at 119 and the Beans at a 93. Beans wasn't supposed to get 100 last week. He didn't get 100. Again, injuries is the thing on Beans' side of the ball.
It is. Injuries, they're a killer. They're not a reason for excuse, which I'm going to give the Beans some credit there. You're not hearing excuses out of the Beans. He's manning up, saying, "This is just the card I've been dealt."
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, Jockey has nice matchups this week. Jockey is in the Lombardi. It's tough. It's rugged in there. I think he'll handle the Beans.
Now
You say the Lombardi's tough,
but the Lombardi did not win last year right?
Right.
Or the year before that.
Right.
I was just wondering.
No, it's true, and a lot of it goes to, like, they're so beat up during the year because they actually play. I mean, it's difficult. It's hard. It's constant, banging, and it's difficult. Whereas the other two divisions, hardly fill out their rosters. It's more of a whatever type of thing. Mm-hmm. The Lombardi is a devastating division to be in.
But aren't we really going for championship trophies here?
Yes.
So ultimately, it really doesn't matter.
Yes, but if you took the Lombardi and split it up and got two of the Lombardis down with the two weaker divisions, then obviously a champ would come out of that.
Okay. Well, we've talked about divisional realignment, and I think you were against it.
I'm against it because I always win the division.
Okay.
So why would I want to change that?
All right. Well, anyway, Tom Brady going up against Oakland with no Namdi. 30 points or more, Tom Brady, yes or no?
I'm going less.
Less.
Yep, I'm going less. They got to travel out there. I think that Oakland's going to run the ball a lot and short passing game. Try, like everybody does, to keep the ball away from Tom Brady. And the Patriots defense can't stop that.
All right. Obviously, Gronkowski is 4, so you're going to kind of have points coming
he'll be a player, sure.
Both ways.
Yep.
Your prediction?
I'm going some Jock.
Okay.
With a strap.
Nice. Our next game is Nappy at Doe. Doughboy looking to go to 4-0. ESPN has Nappy predicted by 3. Should be a pretty good game here. Nappy has Phillip Rivers going against Miami and Tim Hightower, and Calvin Johnson going against Dallas.
Yeah, that's the ticket right there with the shootout and this whole Chris Carter, Matt Stafford trash talk going on. Stafford's going to get the ball to Calvin, specifically in the end zone. One thing that's a little alarming though for Calvin Johnson fans is Stafford is really throwing the ball to everybody that's open. We're getting some Young, some Burleson, some Pettigrew, some Shefty, some Doug. Anybody that's out there running a route, they're getting the ball thrown to him.
Are you nervous about Mike Williams if you're Nappy?
You have
to.
He
had a decent week the first week, but really 0 points then 4.
I'm not nervous to where I'm benching him, but I'm nervous to where we're having a one-on-one meeting with, you need to get your crap together. You're my second best receiver. I drafted you here. You need to produce.
With Doughboy, he has Tony Romo. Chances of Tony Romo getting hurt in this game by Ndamukong Suh?
62.5%.
Okay.
He's going to get hit. And probably a land on with some of that after. So there's a solid chance that he's going to get hurt.
All right. Anyway, your prediction for the Nappy and Doughboy game?
I'm going Nappy here.
Okay.
Because I don't think that the Doughboy team is really that good. If you look at the points they've scored, yes, the record is 3-0, but I think that number is lying. I'm taking the Nappy here.
All right. Our next game is Show and Talk. These are two of the loudest people in the league. ESPN has it predicted 125 Talk, 114 Show, and that is as long as they do not change their lineups. Anyway, any thoughts on Greatest Show's team?
Obviously, Arian Foster
is going to be playing this week.
He's a question mark because he hasn't played really a full game yet because of that hammy. Hammies just don't go away. So you got to imagine that the coaching staff is going to be giving Tate and Foster 50-50, 60-40, some kind of split there. So as a trash fan, I like that. But the rest of his lineup looks really good.
Yeah.
Not to mention they're playing Pittsburgh, and I still think that Pittsburgh can play good defense. So I'm a little nervous of his roster, but not nervous enough to be concerned that I'm going to lose.
Drew Brees, 30 points or more.
More.
He's going against Jacksonville. Anyway, on the other side of things, Matt Ryan going against Seattle. Roddy White's obviously involved there. Still got a lot of Q's and P's on the trash talk side of things. How are the injuries?
They're getting better. They're getting used to my style of practice, where I demand contact constantly with 2-a-days. They're getting used to it.
Jermichael Finley, first game with the show, with Trash Talk, double digits.
Yes, he'll have double digits.
Like 20 double digits? Or
no, I was
teens?
thinking more like I'd be happy with 10.
10. All right. Prediction for Greatest Show versus Trash Talk?
Well, it's gonna continue the way that it has been, and it's gonna be trash. It's not gonna be a beat down, but it will be convincing. And Show will come back and apologize for all the mean things he's texted me and emailed me this week.
Now, there's word out that you've been doing the same to him, though.
I haven't heard that.
Our last game and our game of the week, as we have displayed here, we have Nipples versus Soldier. Our last two winners, ironically enough, from the Shula and the Knoll, not from the Lombardi.
Right.
As we've talked about earlier. Anyway.
Actually, the Lombardi lost both of those, if we want to be technical about it.
No. Well, see, there we go. Again, just thank you. I appreciate you at least being honest and being willing to
That's what I am.
To hit that. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers versus Denver. Denver isn't very good.
No.
Aaron Rodgers, 30 points or more. I know I keep going back to these 30 points, but these quarterbacks are scoring 30 points each week.
Yeah, I'm going to go more, and it's because I have a memory of Brett Favre in 2007, I believe it was, in overtime to Greg Jennings, 82 yards, ended it. It's ingrained in my head. I'm going more.
I don't know how that correlates.
It doesn't. It has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers, but I see the uniforms. I see the skank yellow piss color uniforms against the Broncos. I see that long pass. I'm just saying, I see it. I see it. I'm going over.
If your piss is that yellow, you need to be drinking more water. That's just what I'm thinking. But evidently, we're getting an insight into the life of the Commish.
Well, I'm busy in the day. I don't have time to drink.
Anyway, he's going with Lance Moore. I had a talk with the GM this week. Can you draft a New Orleans Saints person besides Drew Brees and feel confident about starting them each week?
Graham. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's
that
it.
would make sense.
Because he's the only one.
Okay. But other than that, you're playing them never knowing if they're going to get 15 or 0.
And the Queef's coming back this week,
True.
I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So Lance Moore is a bad play, but he's always able to go the deep.
Pettigrew had a lot of targets last week.
Yes, he did.
That wasn't like what he was having beforehand.
New team. New direction.
Yep, new direction. With Soldier, Ben Roethlisberger against Houston, they don't have an offensive line. What is the problem in Pittsburgh?
I mean, what you just said. I mean, Jonathan Scott is their starting left tackle, and he couldn't make the practice squad with the Lions. You know he's bad.
Yeah.
They've got some issues there. I don't know what to say to that. They're just not good.
Soldier has also Peyton Hillis starting for him
Hillis
against Tennessee.
Yeah.
12 points?
More.
Okay.
I'm going to say upper teens. I see him. He loves to get in the end zone, sniffs it out. He's an end zone guy. Even if Hardesty gets some carries in between the 20s, I think Hillis will be okay getting in the end zone.
He's starting Jermaine Gresham instead of Dallas Clark. Not very often that Dallas Clark's found on the bench.
Not very often, but you gotta feel out the Painter. We don't know anything about Painter. Just like we didn't know anything about Hasselbeck, and we didn't know anything about.
I think we know about Hasselbeck. History says we know about him.
You didn't know about him when he was on the Packers practice squad.
Okay.
And then he comes out and he's sweet. Maybe Painter's that guy. We got to give it a little bit of time.
All right. Your prediction for the game of the week, Soldier and Nips.
I'm going Soldier here just because I like his matchups a touch better. But don't ever discount a nipple. Ever.
So don't take your nipples for granted.
Don't take nipples for granted.
All right. Well, that's it for this week 4 edition of the Doug and Commish Show. Best of luck this week, gentlemen. Go Tigers starting Friday night.
Yep.
Verlander pitching in Yankee Stadium.
Verlander.
We're looking forward to this. Have a good week. May all your fantasy players be stellar.